Gratitude Girls training.
Absolutely, yes. So tonight we are going to talk about traveling to convention and getting prepared for that, and what all do you do and what all could you do maybe to make trips that not only for our company or whatever company you're with, or other events, training that is going to take you to that next level. Catherine and I go to lots of different training with our company as well as outside of our company, just to better ourselves and better our business all the time, every single year. So, Catherine, what's your first tip?
Yeah, thank you, Lori. As you were speaking, I was thinking, there are so many different ways that people do things. And they say how you do anything is how you do everything. But I just recently came back from San Diego. And it started, had a tip. I started by wanting to go to Cleveland. And I looked at a flight to Cleveland, and an opportunity came up for me to go to San Diego. And it was basically, if I looked at the dollars, it was cheaper to go to San Diego. No, I'm in Ontario, Canada. So a tip is look at what you want to do and evaluate that. Look at the expense, your budget for it. And my budget for Cleveland was the same as my budget for San Diego. So it just made sense to go to San Diego. So my tip is know what you want to do, know your calendar agenda, so to speak, and then know how much money you want to spend on that trip, or how much you want to spend on travel for the year per se, so that you can break it up. But in this case, it's to have a budget, so you don't end up going somewhere saying, oh, I took that trip, but I could have done that. So I think it's important to plan our trip the way we plan our meals, the way we plan our food, the way we plan our holidays. So that would be one. And if I may just say one other thing, Lori, and we'll switch and I'll give you a chance. When we talk about something like convention, so the tip about convention is it happens. We know it happens. We know it's going to happen, whether it's every year, every 12 months, or every 18 months, or every 6 months. For us, it's approximately every year. So the last time we had a convention was 18 months ago. So it's on the calendar. And I believe it's really important, I believe it's really important to make that something that you will not change. You cannot go into my calendar and tell me April 4, 5, 6, 7, something else is going to happen, because it's not. So it's immovable. It's rock solid. Once it's rock solid, then you can decide. So I'll share with you what I do. I put it in my calendar. I make sure nothing else gets in the way. And then I work out the logistics. So I could buy a ticket a year in advance, or I could buy a ticket a week in advance, but I'm going. So I tend to be creative with the way I buy. I just bought my ticket this morning. Now, we all knew I was going. So I probably paid $130 more for my ticket. But anyway, I took it out of my spending money in my budget. It's simple. I have an amount of money that I believe this trip will cost me, and an amount of money that I will use for spending. And I just took, from this pile and went to that. So for me, it's about making it rock solid, making sure I know what's happening. And then I go and I take the action steps kind of in a looser format, but I do it. And I'm going over budget a little bit on my hotel, but it's because I promised myself last convention I would do that. So, Lori, what about you?
Yeah, so for me, it's a given. I'm going. The minute they announce it, that's it. It's on my calendar, and it's going to happen. And so unless I'm, pretty much dead or in the hospital, I'm going to be there no matter what. And we all have things in life that happen. We all have situations. We all have stuff that goes on, but we all also have priorities, right? And we decide what our priorities are. And for different people, that might be different things. For me, back in 2004, when I started with the company, I wasn't financially where I'm at today. And so, but I still went. I went to every single convention. I've been at every single Send Out Cards convention that we've had, because I made that choice. I made that decision. And back at the beginning, it wasn't an easy decision, financially, but I decided I was going to go, and I figured out what to do to make it happen. And I remember the very first convention, we had 4 women in the room, 2 girls per bed. I remember I went to Walmart and bought protein bars to stick in my suitcase so I would have snacks. So I would only have to eat out one meal a day, and that I would eat out with friends from convention and things. But the other 2 meals I would eat, protein bar or, something else that I was able to cram into my suitcase and that I brought cheaper. And then I also, when I got to convention, to my hotel room, I walked to the store. There's a, I forget what it is, like a Walgreens or a CVS a couple blocks away, and bought, cases of water. So I wasn't buying them from the machines or at the hotel or wherever, the same thing to save money. Right. And so, and no matter how much money you have, still the ones that are blessed are still kind of frugal with their money. They're still careful of how they spend it. They don't just, just throw it around. Right. And so, but we had a lot of women in our room. And I remember even another trip that I went, we had 6 women in the room. I slept on the floor. And so, but it was an event that I wanted to go to. I wanted to make sure I went, and it got put on my calendar, and I did what I had to do to be there. And even now, I can financially, I can go better, but I still have 4 women in my room because other people might not be able to go the way that I can. And I'd still like to save money. So why not? Right. Because then I can use that money for other things, even if I am in a better place than I was back then still. And, I'm a social butterfly. So I love having company and having girls sleepovers. That's always fun too. Right.
Right. That's a really good point. What's important is that when we go on a holiday or a convention, we go because we want to be there, and we do everything humanly possible to make it fun. So if you want to be around people, you have them in your room. If you want to eat with people and be social, so however you budget that, we are the ones who are choosing to go to convention, right? If you're watching this live or you're recording, you choose to be the one to go, or you choose to be the one not to go. Whichever one you choose, it's your choice. So we're not a victim of circumstance. We didn't win the lottery. We decided to go. We placed our priority on that, and we looked at it in the calendar and said, this is the money and the time and the effort and the energy that all goes along with that. And if you're choosing not to go on vacation or convention or something that happens once a year for some people this is their trip because this is what they choose to do. So again, you either are the person that does it or you're the person that doesn't do it. That's how you do it. That's who you are. And we're okay with that. We just want to say that from our perspective of doing it, what Lori and what I have chosen to do in my personal life to make sure I get to convention, there are sacrifices. It could be sacrificing sleeping in a room with 3 or 4 people. And to Lori, that's not a sacrifice. And we have a really good time when we're in a room with people. The first thing we said is, when can we get to each other's room? Or maybe we sacrifice time with our family, or we sacrifice time with those that we love to go to convention. Either way, we choose to make that sacrifice so that we come back rejuvenated. Maybe not relaxed like when you're on the beach, but certainly more informed. And if information is fuel, then we'll come back fueled. So we choose to be that person. And I believe if you're watching this tonight, tomorrow, whenever you decide to watch it, know that it's never too late to make a decision. It's never too late to get on a plane. If you heard that there was this awesome seat sale to Aruba, would you consider it? So consider that this could be the trip that changes everything for you, because Aruba may or may not change everything for you, and it may rain, but you'll still take that trip. You'll still go. You'll say, only rain 5 out of 7 days. So think about that. Consider it's never too late. Right, Lori?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, I was thinking something when you said that too. And one, if you go to convention, you might learn some tips and tricks and techniques and things to apply in your personal life as well as your business life that's going to allow you to take that trip to Aruba next year, personally. But, and then also that, I remember years ago also another thing that I did preparing for convention is, not only did I figure out, my budget, how much I had to have, how much I was going to spend. So just like you were talking about there. So, you figure out your hotel, you figure out your airline, you figure out your meals. So you figure out your overall budget. And then I looked at, okay, how many people do I need to sign up to make this where it's not coming out of my pocket? I'm not spending money to go. I'm going to earn my way to go. And, and so then I looked at that, and then I looked at, okay, so how many people do I talk to normally in order to sign up somebody, and then figure out find ways to start talking to more people and sharing it with more people, and not being the ugly used car salesman, pushy type person, but sharing it with more people. But when you simply share it with more people, you're going to find more yeses, because you're going to get more no's, but you're going to get more yeses too. And you might get more maybes. And, and a lot of times those no's are no, not right now, because I've had lots of no's that ended up being a yes 5 years later, just because I, didn't burn that bridge. I was okay with them saying no. And, and then they came back to me later and decided that that was the right time for them. It wasn't the right time at the beginning, but it was the right time later on. And because I kept in touch and followed up and still was a friend no matter what, and business partner or whatever, that still came back around. And so, you do that. And I remember, I think it was a Jim Rohn training that he said, that there was a contest between some people. And he said, I'm going to win that contest no matter what, because it doesn't matter how many people you talk to or how many people you sign up, or it doesn't matter that you can sign up 8 out of 10 or whatever. I'm going to talk to more people than you. So therefore I'm going to win the contest, and I'm going to sign up more people than you in the end. Because that's it. It's in the end, it's a numbers game, right? And so the more people you talk to, if you talk to one person a month, you might get, one sale a year or whatever your stats are, but if you talk to one person a day and say your stats are 1 out of every 10, that's 3 people a month. Times that by a year, and you prepare for convention for a year ahead of time, how many people is that added onto your team? And that doesn't even count the people that they sign up, that they know, that they know, that they know, right? So it's just, and because you can never plan on that anyway. You can only plan on whatever your efforts are. You can only plan on what you're willing to do and what you decide to do.
Absolutely. So many good points, Lori. There are just so many good golden nuggets there. What I'm thinking of is, I'm going to convention. I'm going to talk to people and ask them if they like to travel. Because whether they are aware of our fantastic relationship marketing system or not, people who like to travel will go places to be social and to be sociable and to meet other people. So our convention is for anyone. So you might be lucky enough to tell someone, I'm thinking of going to convention. And you can use that as a door opener. So I accidentally sent my airline ticket to someone this morning in error. It was just, I don't know how I did it. I wanted to send it to one girl to ask her about something, and somebody else said to me, did you send me your ticket? So I just want to say this, that innocently, I shared my ticket with someone, and I asked her when she asked me what that was about. I said, you're always more than welcome to join me. This convention is open to anyone. So you just don't know how the conversations will appear in your life. I wouldn't worry if you are going alone, because when you get to convention, you're never alone, but it's never too late to invite someone. So for you, it's never too late to make the decision to go. And if you look at it as an investment in your business before you make the money, then it's a necessary investment to make before you make the money. If you're not aware of how to make the money back yet, once you go to convention and you come back, you'll have more tools. So if you were a carpenter building a complex, and you know how to build a house, but you're not sure how to build a complex, but you know at this convention, you're going to come back with information and tools. You'll come back and then you'll be able to complete that project. That's how I look at convention. It's going to give me the tools to come back, to complete what I've started, but yet to create something else. So if that has value to you, then I would recommend you go about what you're doing, make a decision, and then take that action, because it's just never too late to book your ticket. Salt Lake City is a big place. There are lots of planes that are going there. Whether you get there on the 2nd or the 3rd, it starts on the 4th, it finishes on the 7th, leave on the 8th. You do what you have to do, but any part of convention that you can get to is better than going to no part of the convention. You might not have to fly. Maybe you can drive. So when it's in your scope of what you're going to do in the course of the year, I'm sure when you take a trip, when you go on a holiday, you don't worry about what you're going to eat, because you know it's part of the expense of what you're going to do to treat yourself. So if you believe that you're worth the investment, and that the people that are going are people that you can learn from and share with and maybe give your gifts to, then go for it. My 3 words for the day are go for it.
Right. Yeah. And absolutely. We all have choices, right? So we make choices every single day, whether it's going to be for better for our lives, or that may be the same for our lives, or maybe worse. You know, you never know. There's always, like what I used to tell my kids is, there's always consequences to every choice you make. It could be a good consequence, it could be a bad consequence, or it could be an indifferent consequence. And so, you know, and it reminds me of, you know, that phrase of, you know, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing. So, you know, and I'm always wanting to learn more and do more. A couple weeks ago, you know, we go to lots of trips for personal development as well as like business success and business development, right? And so that's inside of Send Out Cards. That's also outside of Send Out Cards for our own personal things. And a couple weeks ago, I was invited to go to an event that was here right in Nashville. And, you know, and it's normally a couple $1,000s for the event. And it was a lot cheaper. And it was basically in my backyard. At the time, I had huge things going on with one of my clients and really working lots and lots and lots of hours. And then this event was 4 days, and it was from like 8 in the morning till like 10 at night. And then you worked on your lunch break that was only 30 minutes, and you worked on your dinner break that was only like an hour. And then they gave you homework to do that night. And I chose to not stay in Nashville. So I drove an hour and a half home every night and drove back an hour and a half each day. And, but I still chose to go because I decided that it was something that was going to help me, whether it's personal or professional or a little bit of both. And I met some amazing people at this event, and different things happened. And, you know, it was just incredible. But it was because I made a choice. You know, and that's it. We make choices every day, and you can make a choice if you want to go to our company convention, your company convention. If you're with another company, an event that's going to help you to do better. You know, there's all kinds of events each year that, like I said, that Catherine and I both go to all the time, mainly because we just love to travel and see each other too. So, and that's always a good thing too, you know, that social aspect, you know, and that's what we talked about earlier tonight too, on one of our other Gratitude Girl shows. You know, we talked about relationships, and that's it. And our guest made a comment of us being committed to doing that. And that's it. We've done it the fourth Tuesday night of every single month for over 5 years now, you know, because we've made that commitment. And that's, you know, and we make that commitment to go to our company convention because that's just something that we choose to do. It goes on our calendar, and we've just decided that that's what it's going to be. We're not partially committed, you know, and like if you're married, you know, Catherine and David, you know, I'm sure they, you know, say, you know, we're not partially committed. You know, if David said, honey, I'm partially committed to you, I think Catherine might have a little something to say about that, right?
Oh, absolutely, because we're all in, you know. And Lori, you made me think about something. We would not be here tonight having this training if it weren't for convention. You make lasting friendships with people. And if you did do something really awesome throughout the year, you have other people to bring you up. And you get to be the person to lift others up, which gives us an additional purpose. So if you're thinking about, I am going to convention, or I'm not going to convention, or I'm on the fence about convention, make a decision, make a commitment, be all in. But no, either way, you're either one of the people that go or you're one of the people that don't go. And if you want to be the one that goes, then you could tell yourself, as of right now, I am one of those people, and I am going to my company's international convention. And I will see you there. You can send a message to us, and I am looking to put phone numbers in my cell phone so that when I'm there, we can meet people. And Lori and I will, I'm sure, do an impromptu do some type of Gratitude Girls quick hello. So if you're watching this and you want to get with us, send us a private message, and then we'll put your number in our cell phone and we'll make sure we get together. Right, Lori?
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Would love to meet you there and spend time with you there. And, you know, that's it. We go, we stay super busy, but we have so much fun, and we build relationships while having fun and while building our business and learning personal development all at the same time.
Awesome. We will see you at convention. Lori, I am excited that we're going to be together soon. The next time we speak to you through a Gratitude Girls training, it will be post-convention. So expect to hear what happens to your energy level after convention. Stay tuned. Follow our trainings. Don't take our word for it. Jump in and do that yourself.
Awesome. And we will see you soon, next fourth Tuesday night next month. Take care, everybody.
Ciao. Bye.